high gas prices aren't all that's on people's minds as they get ready to travel for spring break. CBS News senior travel advisor Peter Greenberg joins us live from Maui to talk travel and to, I don't know, nudge us a little bit to dig it in there. Peter, what leads you to paradise and what is the status of tourism in Hawaii right now? Peter, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Peter? All right, I think we're having some problems with Peter's connection. Can you hear us, Peter?
Yeah, hold on, stand by.
All right, I don't think we can hear us, Peter. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm back, here I am.
Can you hear me?
Here I am.
All right, good to hear you, Pete. Thank you so much.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I see you're in Hawaii. Congratulations on that, I guess. Must be nice being in paradise. What's the status of tourism in Hawaii right now?
Well, you may remember that Hawaii was probably the most restricted state during the pandemic. It was on total lockdown, and when even it did open, you had too many requirements and so many hoops to jump through in terms of wristbands, testing, multiple tests, and quarantine periods. As of March 26th, that's all gone. Not even a mask requirement anymore, and Hawaii is now open for business, and the numbers returning to Hawaii now are staggering. Talk about pent-up demand. Every flight is full, and I'm sad to report that the prices are reflecting that, not just in terms of airline tickets, but in terms of hotel rooms and rental cars.
Wow, okay. Airlines continue to be understaffed. At the same time, the travel demand, as you just mentioned, is soaring, all while some airlines are cutting their number of flights. What should travelers know before booking flights?
Well, it's sort of this inverse relationship now. As demand is growing, the airlines are understaffed and they can't support the number of flights they have. They're cutting. JetBlue cutting 27 routes for the summer. American Airlines, Southwest Airlines cutting 14,000 flights. United Airlines cutting 20,000 flights per month for the summer. So what you need to know is if you're going to book a flight, try to book the very first flight of the day and make sure that the plane that you're on actually overnighted at the airport where you're leaving from. There's a reasonably good chance if you do that, your crew will actually still be on the flight that you need to go back on. Otherwise, the more you wait during the day, as the hours go by, the more likely you may either be delayed or canceled.
Wow. All right. Rates are once again through the roof when it comes to rental cars, and one particular model is nearly impossible to find. What is that model, and what are 3 things to look out for when trying to rent a car?
Well, the one that's the toughest to find is not going to come as a surprise the minute I tell you. It's the hybrid because of high gas prices. Very difficult to find those in the rental market right now. But the 3 things you need to know before you ever rent a car now is before you ever take it off the lot, go around the car with your cell phone, make sure the photos are time-coded, photograph any ding or scratch on the outside of the car and on the inside of the car, then go back to the rental counter and make sure that the rental agent notes that on the rental form so that you're not dinged with a $4,000 expense for repairs for things you didn't cause. That's number 1. Number 2, watch out for mileage caps now. The days of unlimited mileage may be gone, and after you get to that 100 miles, the numbers get crazy in terms of how much they're going to charge you per mile, again with drop-off charges. And then the last one, which is the craziest one, there's one more question you got to ask before you leave the rental car counter. Has my car been reported stolen? And the reason why you have to ask that is during the pandemic when cars were so tough to find, people would rent a car for a week and then decide, you know what, I'll take it for another week. Then they'd return it, pay the charges. But in that other week, the rental car company reported the car as stolen.
Wow.
And then when the car was returned, they didn't bother to say it was unstolen. And then you go to rent the car, you get pulled over, you go to jail. So bottom line, make sure you have it in writing that the car was not reported as stolen. It sounds absurd, but it's a sign of the times.
Never even thought about that, never even considered it, but extremely helpful tips. As always, Peter, enjoy the rest of your time in Hawaii, and thank you for joining us today.